Back-to-backs. We're doing it. Celtics are doing it. They're winning. Beating the Thunder.
Plays.
Got a little close. Doesn't matter. We're not paying
the walk
attention
of
to the final
shame.
score.
The first Ime Udoka walk of shame.
It was so bad. The signature play of the walk of shame was definitely Neesmith freaking out at half court, like getting the ball taken from him. It's so bad.
Did they need a walk?
He got scared at. All the stars looking at him
like they didn't even need a walk of shame, but they did it just to make a point.
Yeah.
There's 10 seconds left.
Like, guys,
they were like,
get over here. You know?
They were like, Aaron, we know you're not a rookie, but you're carrying everyone's stuff next road trip, all right? I don't care. Like, that's it.
Back to me for Broderick Thomas.
That was terrific. I feel bad. Sherrod sat that one out. He was in the media room already. It's like,
he's like, I thought this thing was over. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
Sherrod, I love basketball. I never get down on a game, a chance to go to the Garden. But this was a slog. Oh, my God. The Thunder are tough to watch.
Yeah.
Let's Sherrod, hold on. Let's Sherrod put things into perspective because I'm sure he's seen play games like this. So where does this rank?
Why was it so bad, though? I think if you're the Celtics,
you know what it was?
You feel good about it, right?
Well, here's why this game was bad. First, you had the emotional low of coming off the Lakers game. The energy just wasn't there in the building.
Oh, the building was dead.
Yeah. Two, and it's really bad because, I mean, the Celtics, they did exactly what we've been bitching and moaning about them to do so much. What Marcus Smart has been bitching and moaning about is pass the ball. Their ball was great. I remember, on their first 28 made shots, they had like 20 assists at that point. And so they did a lot of the things that we want to see them do. But this game was just, I mean, it was just flatline pretty much most of the game. I mean, they basically this was like a necessary evil. This is like paying your taxes. You got to do it, get it done with, cut the check, and get the hell out of town.
But that's probably why you feel good about it, John, right?
But for multiple reasons. One, it's not you win games where you're like, okay, that sucked, and they only, like this. We've seen a million of these where you decide you only play like 12 out of 48 minutes and it's enough, and you have those games and it's like, all right, at least they showed up and you give their hat off to them. I actually thought they played pretty well on a back-to-back, again, without two starters, but it's not just that. It was what the style that was the key to me again. Last night the massive takeaway was the points in the paint. The 56 points in the paint was huge. Tonight it was the assist numbers. 28 assists on 30 something made baskets. Like that was that, and they did that start to finish. It wasn't one of those we pass it early and then we fall back into our old tendencies. They started that way. I think it was 14 of the first 17 or something like that, and they stayed that way. So it was not just one pass. It wasn't one of those assist games where it's one pass and a guy makes a three and we got an assist, and on a different night it would have been a potential assist. They were swinging the ball around.
That play where they got Tatum wide open, we talk about how it's never easy for Tatum. 4 passes and they made it easy.
That's what I mean. You have 3-4 passes, drive and kick, all game long, and then so there's a million things.
How about them having 4 turnovers through 3 quarters? I mean, like,
that was the other thing.
That was unheard of 2 weeks ago.
And a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for the game, which is just phenomenal for a team to have that type of ratio. So this was a good. I mean,
so that's why I like it. Everything else it's blah. It's the Thunder. It's hard to get up for. You guys all 3 of you were there for the Lakers. So obviously emotionally, you're up here. But this had letdown written all over it. Like again, you get the discouraging news of like, it's a short-term injury, but Rob and Jalen still aren't ready. Like, you can't have short-term injuries when the guys are out weeks, like.
You're so negative, John. Jeez.
No. What I'm saying is you had that again, and you had the back-to-back, and
these wins are galvanizing these guys, especially Schroeder, man. I felt like
today's was an awesome win given all the circumstances. I love this win.
Was it just me, or like I feel like Schroeder was like extra like big brother tonight, right? Like he's giving guys pat on the back. It's like, hey, what's up, guys? Like it's almost as if he's been here for a few years, right? And I think that's been great for guys like Marcus, for other guys who have been, in the mix all of a sudden now. Of course, Grant Williams is sort of like, this is what we said right before we got on. Like, this is the Grant Williams game now. Like, we didn't see this coming. Like, I just think this is all coming together nicely for this team, especially because it's not 2 or 3 months into the season. It's still early, and that's one thing that we used to remind each other of, right? It's still early, guys. So here they are.
Right.
I think this is good. This is relevant. This is going to be a significant part of the season that we look back on.
I saw the same stuff that you're talking about, Josue, but I had a little different spin on it. I saw it as like, hey, guys, this has been really fun playing with you guys with this first group. Bye. Because he knows his time is coming to an end. And I think he's trying to soak in all of this starting, playing 30 minutes, because he knows once Jalen comes back, that ain't going to be the way. It's going to go down.
And I hate that. I mean, you got a really good thing going right now. It feels to me, and we haven't talked to Smart a ton. His demeanor the last few times we have seems a little more relaxed and cool with what's going on. Proud of the guys. I get the sense he likes playing with Schroeder. I think he's deferential to the fact that Schroeder's making the game easier for him and allowing him to play his typical role that he looks great in. I mean, you have him on the floor in a 23-point game. That's the kind of stuff I've said over and over again. We didn't see that from Smart last year, whether it was injuries, his demeanor, just his frustration, whatever was going on there. And he talked about it quite a bit.
Why is that, Bobby? Well, at least what's
I
part
think
of
he.
it? I feel like he felt like he
was
was the only one doing that, and I feel like now he has Schroeder. He's like, okay, I'm
that
not
might
the
have been
only
part
one.
of it. I also think just exhaustion from the offensive load. That's a guy who had to do a ton on offense last year. Maybe Peyton Pritchard filled in sometimes, but you didn't have a Dennis Schroeder on the team last year, and Kemba Walker was out every other night.
Yeah.
Right. I think also is the fact that defensively they're playing as a group the way I think Marcus Smart knows it works. He's seen what it looks like when you play at a high level defensively and how that makes the game so much easier. And for him, I think it takes less pressure off him wanting to be an offensive juggernaut. I mean, you look at his passing the last 2 or 3 games. I mean, this might be the one of if not the best 2 or 3 game stretch he's had in terms of assists, low turnovers, making shots that are what I consider shots within his wheelhouse.
Smart, we mean.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, I mean, it's been a great little stretch that they've had with him, just doing what he's supposed to do. Everyone is kind of staying in their lane, doing their job.
Yeah, the Smart 20-something points last night is a bonus.
22,
really. And, you want to see him, 10, 11 points, but hitting the floor, playing defense, dishing the ball, field goal attempts down, take open shots when they're there, but swing, drive, all of those things. Literally, he's literally doing everything that you want him to do in this stretch, which is great. So, again, the post-Marcus call-out stretch of Celtics basketball has been much better than the pre-Marcus.
It's been pretty damn good, and I know
people think it's a lazy narrative, but it's true.
They've won 7 of 10.
Yeah,
and I know the Jays just kind of poo-pooed on it when we asked them about it. But dude, I mean, Jalen hasn't really played that much because of the injury, but Tatum, you've been a different kind of dude.
Yeah.
From that point on, you've been the dude that we thought you were going to be all season long. The game looks so damn easy to him right now. So easy. And he's making plays on the defensive end, which I thought he's always had the capacity to do. But we're seeing more and more of those defensive plays that they need from him.
And
you know what, too?
Everything water finds its level too. He's now hitting some of the contested shots, the step back threes. Now they're falling, and that makes him so much more dangerous because yes, the point behind being a person like Jayson Tatum who has it in his bag to shoot that sidestep, or step back three and make a lot of buckets with people in their faces. Sometimes you need that when the offense goes to shit and there's 6-7 seconds on the shot clock and it ends up in your hands. You got to manufacture a shot. You see it when non-Tatum people have the ball in their hands late in the clock, what type of shot that they get. He's able to, relatively speaking, but they just weren't falling. When they do fall, he just becomes that much more dangerous. Sometimes when you need it, you got to have it, and that tonight was a little better in that regard.
You know what, John? I'm glad you said that because I feel like that was a lot to do with that quote that he said not too long ago, right? When he was talking about, look, I'm not going to change my game. I'm going to be me out there. What you see is what you get. Like at the end of the day, you take the good with the bad. My approach. Like I know I have to be better though, and I love that he kept reminding people that I know I have to be better. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm far from it, but at the same time, I'm working through this thing, just give me some time here. The slump's going to end soon, and here we are, 2 games in, the slump's over, right? I mean, at least his approach is also encouraging that he's buying into the system, which is, Bobby and I talked about that a lot.
That's the key.
After the post game, so that's the key. And then when Jalen comes back, Robert comes back, all that, we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, these guys got it locked down, especially throughout this homestand, which I think is really important. This 4-game homestand that they're in.
Well, the other thing too that's interesting though is that one of the I think kind of byproducts of having Jalen out is you get to look at some combinations and see how well they work without it being an issue. So
like
if they get in the exactly, that's exactly what I was.
No, he's thinking Grant Williams and Schroeder.
I'm just messing. Go ahead, Sherrod.
I know
you are.
but this, I think Ime now has a different perspective on some of the things that he can do that works. I mean, they've played really good basketball, and obviously, when Jalen gets back, he's going to be back in the mix. But if things get a little squirrely out there, he knows there's a certain combination or two that he can go to that's familiar with each other, have played well with each other, and you can turn to that if some of the traditional lineups aren't working as well as you want.
I kind of agree with this comment. It might be time to G League Neesmith.
Man.
No. It's beyond time. It's beyond time.
Beyond time. The guy's got to play 25 minutes and be the number one offensive player on a team right now. He has to.
I need his confidence up.
This is killing him.
He
is a mess right now.
You want the G League sentence? Actually, you know what? That could help him. If he goes to the G League,
bad.
He didn't get last year.
25, 30 points for a week or two. That could help him.
We're way past it.
He needs to take a step back to take 2 steps forward right now.
Yeah,
because right
100%.
now he's just thinking in quicksand out there right now.
What did we say last year? The fact that they didn't have that option limited his ability to kind of get acclimated. The no training camp, no G League.
And you needed everybody last year because any given day, 3 guys could go down for COVID. You don't have that depth issue this year, and they're not playing them, so it's not a bad point.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not going to get into that portion of the show right now. Talking about tonight, the Grant. So I'm going to regret saying this.
You are. I can tell right now.
Are you excited?
I can hear it in your tone.
I almost don't even want to say it.
Listen, John, this is a week
it's
where
it's too late.
John, remember, you can convince anybody with enough conviction, right?
I know.
You've had.
He's got to convince himself first.
Yes,
he's got to convince himself first.
All right, I'm going to say it. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I'll say it. Okay. When we talked about the other day, I mentioned combinations on, try something. I know. God damn it, I can't do it.
John, just
wait. This isn't Romeo related, is it?
No.
It's definitely not Romeo.
Just a minute, John.
Stop.
This week.
Bobby, if you want this to happen, you're gonna have to. You can't push
Bobby,
me.
give John the runway. Give him all the runway you need. Come on.
Clear.
When you talk about, when we talk about doing things differently and separating things out, and putting a lesser player in the starting rotation because you're going to get the most out of that player, and also potentially get the most out of a player you send to the bench or create with that bench unit. Now you've got problems here because you got to start making decisions. You like the Schroeder smart combination. You don't want to break it up when Jalen comes back. That's a problem. You got to decide, okay, are we going to go small? And if that's the case, are we going to have one big out there? And is that big going to be Al or Rob when he's healthy?
Yeah.
The other possibility to consider is if you do send one of those guards to the bench and you want to stay too big and Grant is working in that lineup, do you consider leaving Grant in that lineup and moving someone else to the bench and thus, creating more bench depth? Because the problem is, I know, Sherrod, the problem is this: if a guy has value,
like he lost me there, man.
If a guy has value somewhere and you remove him from that, and then his value drops to 0 on that second unit, how many of those guys in that second unit? Like I said, I keep going back to that freaking lineup against which was it? The Bulls? No,
the Mavs, mate. One of those games.
The second, the 19-point. I keep going back to the Grant Pritchard, Romeo Neesmith lineup that they tried for in the first quarter in a really shorthanded game, and then it burned them in the third quarter. You can't have those guys out there on the floor together. It negates all of their skills at the same time. So when you're talking about a mix and match universe, if you take Grant out of the starting lineup and he goes back to being the old Grant, you've lost the asset, right? So you have to start thinking about like where does it work best for you?
But this is working under these premises, though, right? This is working because Rob is out. Like I think that's worst case scenario. If you see Grant out there, it's because Rob is hurt. Like
it's bad.
Yeah, but if you have a healthy Rob, you inject Rob. You're not injecting Grant Williams. I don't think that's.
I feel good about keeping Grant in case of an emergency. We're going to crack this open. Wow, like the idea of actually consciously trying to cram him with that first group. If I got a healthy
I already said cram.
I can't do it.
I said cram Romeo when I first said it. I said cram Romeo in there or someone like that to get But I'm saying to get more out of them, or if Nesmith was a little bit more confident to get a shooter on the floor, and that was during the stretch when things weren't working. So all I'm saying is combinations. You never know which one is going to work. There are teams that play lesser guys with their starting unit because they fit what that starting unit needs in that moment, and then the bench is that much stronger. So I'm not saying play Grant by any means. All I'm saying is leave your options open. Like
I guess I feel like what you're saying has like strong like first round playoff series vibes, right? Like you maybe you're down 0-2 and you need to switch things up in the lineup. Like
you mean like throwing Gerald Green into the starting lineup?
What's up?
Hadn't played, like throwing Gerald Green into the starting lineup.
Exactly right. Like you're pulling out all the stops. Like you're down in the series and you don't like the way this is going. Like I think desperation. That's something you do again if your big guy's hurt. Like Rob, you gave him that contract. We know even beforehand that he should have been starting last season. You go with that if he's healthy. And if he's not healthy, I think you get even a more motivated Grant. I mean, I just guess my only concern in terms of with Grant is, do we still get a version of this if he's coming off the bench, right?
That's all I'm saying is
is a less motivated Grant going to be able to still put it together when Rob's up there starting? It's
not motivated when you don't have other good players around you, you're asked to do more, and Grant isn't capable of doing more unless why does Grant work here? Because he's the guy nobody pays attention to, so he can sit in the corner and make his threes. It's a fact. We were joking about LeBron was like, I'm not freaking guarding this guy. He just refused to, like you're not going to pay attention to him. You're worried about.
You're not gonna see a highlight of me jumping out and trying to block this guy. Like, no,
right.
I don't respect him.
No one does.
Yeah. When you have that second unit where everyone's like, I don't want to shoot. Are you going to shoot? And it's just pass the ball around and whoever has it last shoots it. That's a crap offense, and Grant's been on a lot of those bench units where you're like, oh God, these guys are killing us, So
John, what did you say last night? Hey, I'm LeBron. Is this your first year? What's your name?
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Grant, nice.
Here's the thing about Grant.
You went to Tennessee, right?
Are you a point guard? Oh, power forward. Oh, you're not that big. All right. Anyway.
The thing about Grant, I don't think you have to cram him in any rotations, especially when there's other more important pieces you have to figure that out with. Ultimately, it's a pretty short rotation. He'll be playing with starters most of the time, I believe, when he'll get in there. But you have to play him. I mean, he's got to be part of this rotation. I think he's the most reliable of all these young guys right now, and what he brings to the table is pretty valuable and exciting because it's growth. You're seeing a better Grant than last year, and he had that explanation that he was coming in ready to play the 5, got thrown on the wing for much of last year, and that kind of explained a pretty mediocre season for him. He looks agile. You saw him in that Atlanta game, switching, moving, active defensively. I've liked his defense this last week or so, and the shot. You go back to that 0-25 start to his career. He's pretty steadily 40% over strong volume of shots here. So this guy's a good 3-point shooter. At times, he can be great, especially since he's always open. And, I know you factor in the percentage, John, but there's never going to be a time when anyone covers Grant. So you might as well just have that as an assumption.
NBA average on open threes, I think, is like 37% or something around that. Grant is hovering above that at this point. Yeah. So he's giving you plus
closer to 40, right?
Yeah. Plus production on out of his opportunities, which is way better than what we saw last year, which was a fairly a borderline unplayable guy who was playing substantial minutes and just really couldn't find his footing at all last year.
John, not that this is important, but you got to fill in Sherrod at some point about the Herman jokes.
Oh yeah, it's there forever.
It's from last night.
some guy put in a typo calling Hernan Gomez 2 names Herman.
Herman.
It's
So
like
now,
they need to play Herman Gomez.
now forever he's Herman.
That's the first thing I saw. I saw a bunch of Herman Gomez comments.
Everybody's on it tonight.
AKA shot chucker. My goodness.
Oh my God, was Herman let it fly tonight?
He's been waiting. You get in there. Why not?
No, Herman was watching the show. He was like, "Look, Josue thinks Pritchard needs to shoot threes. No, I'm gonna shoot threes." He said.
Herman let it rip.
He went in. He was like, he said, "This is my time. This is my moment."
My God! Oh my God! Oh my God! I get to play.
If I make 2 threes, it's done. I'm in the rotation. Let's go.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, Herman. What was the final line on him?
0 for 5.
0 for 5, 4 threes in 6 minutes. He was friggin' launching it
all game.
He saw Grant. You know what it is? He's watching Grant, the way he stretches the floor. He's like, I can do the same thing, guys. I'm telling you, I can do it.
The free for
5 shots in 6 minutes. Damn, 5
dude,
shots
the
in 6
entire
minutes.
bench. You know how many? First of all, Herman attempted more shots than anybody coming off the bench tonight.
Herman.
Not just that, only Herman had 4 shots coming off the bench in the last 6 minutes of the game. The rest of the bench combined had 5. That's crazy, right?
Poor guy, man. You know, he's looking at Rob Hurt. He's like, I need a
shot.
No.
Sorry, those are threes. He had 4 3-point attempts. Everyone else had 5 total. He had it in 6 minutes.
You gotta at least hit him. I mean, Carson Edwards would come in.
Sorry, I meant threes. I meant threes, not regular. He jacked 4 threes in 6 minutes.
Yeah, but Bobby, he's Carson Edwards. Everyone knows that's the only thing he does.
That's literally Carson's game.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you're gonna do it, you gotta hit him. That free for all at the end of games and a blowout is one of the funniest things ever, because it's always gonna go bad. The other team, if they're trying at all, they're gonna take it right back and just hit a million threes like the Thunder did. The Thunder wouldn't stop trying throughout the game, and I guess that's another impressive thing about this is there was no real opportunity to back off and take your foot off the gas in this one. And the Celtics still steadily led throughout. It was just a pretty efficient offensive game for them, and that drove them. I know you love the mid-range, Sean. It was back.
I'm telling you, mid-range is back, baby.
They couldn't get to the rim. They couldn't hit any threes. They were settling a little bit. They got to their spots, and all of these guys on this team we know Tatum is, but Schroeder, Smart, Grant even, Horford, of course, Richardson, everybody's comfortable shooting those mid-rangers, and I got to dive into the numbers a little bit, but it's been a pretty efficient, solid shot for them to lean on. And you can get to those spots. Teams don't guard the mid-range.
A good shot is a good shot. If you can get to your spot and get a shot you're comfortable taking, take it. The only thing we don't like is dribble, shoot contested shots. The hero ball, the Westbrook, what Tatum does when he's in his ruts, that stinks. But if you can get to the elbow and get a clean jumper, or you get into the lane and you're shooting a little floater and you're comfortable, those are good shots,
That was
man.
Paul Pierce's bread and butter, man.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Elbow jumper? Yes.
But Schroeder loves it.
He would beat his defender to that spot, and it was automatic. Or he'd give him a fake and get to the free throw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, again, the assist numbers, the getting to the rim and all of that stuff, just so much better these last 2 nights. And we talked about it, like what you're doing is broken, just chucking threes and long twos. And so we'll take this for sure. I think this was these last 2 games are super encouraging. Again, we talk about having wins where you're like annoyed. These last 2 wins, there's a ton of positives to draw out of both of them.
But John, if this thing went in OT, you would have been pissed.
I mean, that would have been a collapse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen because it was 10 seconds, but they got if there was another minute on the game, I wasn't going to rule it out.
No, me neither.
That was bad. What else do you guys see courtside there? The guys there.
What you guys got
at the game?
I mean, we've already talked about Grant, who I thought was really good. We talked about Smart. Al Horford, low key, is continuing to just absolutely be awesome. I mean, damn near triple-double.
It's crazy.
And just
he's so subtle too.
Yes, I mean there's no. I mean but you know what? It's been such an Al Horford type of run here,
Yeah.
impactful, and yet before. I mean he's
Quiet.
like like low key getting shit done.
Right.
Few rolls to the rim off
maintenance
Smart,
work done. Yeah.
playing the high
And Al-
post passing.
I'm looking at a graphic right
Rebounding's
now. I'm looking at a graphic right
his
now.
rebounding's
defense,
incredible.
This is
his
his sixth
defense-
double-double on the season.
His defense has been phenomenal though. I mean Al he's got to be right now. If we had to pick all defensive teams right now, he's probably second team.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe
obviously it's
even
early,
first,
but
depending.
no question. I
Right.
think so.
He's been so good defensively.
This would have been the night, Sherrod. Go run the Thunder, be like, what do you guys do? Like, come on. this isn't Al Horford that we saw
What's
in
the secret?
Philadelphia, like year before that with Boston. Because like this is better than some of the stuff he was doing in Boston before. Remember when he like grabbed 5-6 rebounds in a game and it's like, oh, Al's got to get up on the boards there. Now it's like 10, 11 every game. How do you get better a couple of years later after the level he was playing at then? Maybe it's a different
OKC.
emphasis to his
The
I
game.
think
I don't know.
program,
his
Bobby.
role is
That's what that
his
is.
role
The
is
Thunder
different.
program.
His role is different. I mean, when he was here initially, he was supposed to be one of the top 2-3 pillars on the team. Now you got the Jays. That's what this team is built around. And Al is just like he's augmenting what those guys are doing. And Al is perfectly cool with that.
Right.
I think Al there's just less internal pressure, I think, on Al, even though he doesn't talk about it. But there's no doubt there's less pressure that he's feeling. He's just out there playing.
I do
For
see
sure.
him.
And you think about Al, who spent a good amount of time here. He comes back and he's like, wow, like these guys have made leaps, like guys like Tatum, guys like Brown, guys like even Marcus Smart to a certain extent, right? So that not only, in my opinion, motivates him to take on that leadership role, but it makes it easier for him. He's like, I know these guys, I'm comfortable with these guys, and after all the training and the spending that time off when he was always playing in the playoffs, always loading up a bunch of games under his belt, like that was great for him to get that break.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You do see him running less sets. That's a good point, Sherrod. Just the responsibility that he has offensively is a little different. He's not looking to score as much, probably. Just taking catch and shoot opportunities where he can get them. He throws the nice outlet pass. He finally got that going again in this one. So it's a more scaled back approach, but he's doing more in it. I think that is a good explanation for what's going on with Horford here. And he's able to really focus on defense because this guy, he's first team all defense right now, isn't he? If the season ended today, there's no doubt about it. The numbers are all there, the contests, the blocks.
I don't know first team. I don't know about first team.
Let's just say all defense. Let's just say all defense.
Yeah, he's definitely first or second team, but I can't say he's first team because when I think of guys who are like first team locks, they're absolutely dominating.
Yeah, Gobert and Embiid.
Yeah, and Al has been really good. I wouldn't say he's been dominant though. He's just been really, really good.
Numbers are sensational. I mean, you dive into the contest and the defensive rating. That's the thing. Someone asked earlier, what are you going to do if you put Schroeder in the starting lineup? You send Brown to the bench? You send Smart to the bench? I don't think there's anything wrong with sending Horford. Scale back the minutes, scale back the pressure that's on him. You can have Rob out there. You can sort of interchange those two, and I'm fine with that. Like, I don't think there's been an enormous benefit to having two bigs on the floor. It's a good unit. There's a lot of defense there. But just you isolate those 2 minutes together, it's not outstanding. What you're getting from Smart and Schroeder together, I think, right now is better than what you're getting from Horford and Rob in a vacuum. And it's about the minutes to some degree because when Schroeder was coming off the bench, he was playing less with Smart. But at the same time, it's about the combinations. And you're seeing that Schroeder and Smart, like there's a real value to that combination just in how they play off each other. Do Horford and Rob really, like maybe on defense, play off each other, but offensively, there's not much going on there between those two.
Well, I think part of it is that they need to they give you different skill sets when they're out there. I mean, Rob has to be a rim runner in order to be impactful, and Al gives you the ability to space the floor with his 3-point shooting. So it's a little bit different when you talk about Marcus and Schroeder because basically you want them to do the same thing: attack, drive and kick. So it's a little bit different. I think it's more apples and oranges if you're trying to compare what Rob and Al do to what Schroeder and Marcus do when they're out there together.
Yeah, I think some of it, maybe what you're seeing, Bobby, is just I thought Rob was just trying to adjust in the sense of adding more offense to his game, right? Like finding other ways to score. Obviously, the lob is there, the putbacks, but I feel like he was trying to put the ball on the floor a little bit, just trying to find ways to be more effective. And in doing that, having Al there as sort of that cushion made things a little bit easier. I felt like he was sort of finding his way, and of course, getting the double doubles that we know that he could get in a given night, but finding ways to be more productive on offense. And I thought that was great, for someone like Rob in this part of his progression and him being sort of like set in stone, that starting center. Like, I think the contract just sort of cemented that. And I think that was important for his progression, to have that set in stone, like you're the starting center. Here we go. You don't want to see this kind of setback, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully,
regardless what we say, Ime's been pretty unequivocal about it. It's going to be Horford, Rob, the Jays.
Do you agree, though, John?
I don't know. That's the thing. Is the problem is we haven't seen enough of a sample size with any one unit, with also other people coming off the bench to see how how the two units complement one another, to be able to have anything to say, which is like, oh, Schroeder plays really great with these guys in that second unit in relief of blah blah blah. It's impossible right now to say it. As at the beginning of the year, I was way more in favor of Al on the bench because I didn't think they had big man depth. I didn't think they were going to really trust Cantor. I didn't want to see Grant as the sole big on the floor. I think he really has to be. I think he has to be next to a big. I don't like him as a small ball as a small ball center. All of those reasons, I thought it made sense to have Horford there because I thought you're going to be really thin with big man bench depth. The fact that Cantor's giving you what we thought he would give you, which is 10, 12 serviceable minutes a night where you're surviving his defense, but he's giving you, great work on the boards and being able to, chip in with a bucket or two. I'm glad they finally did that. I thought it was really strange and stubborn to not use him some, but he's always one of those first half guys you get away with it. Second half, it's like, oh, he's out there.
Can't do it Wednesday.
He's out there for that. He's out there for that run that kills you, and you're like, oh God, So it's tough. It's tough there. I want to get into this a little bit more. We want to just quickly remind everybody again, our sponsor, Calm. Go to calm.com/garden, receive 40% off. It is the #1 sleep and meditation app, partnered with the King, LeBron James. When it comes to athletes, we focus on physical fitness. Another side of the game just as important is the mental side of things. So Calm is the #1 app, as we said.
LeBron doesn't let anything bother him.
Nothing. And his Cantor doesn't get to him because of Calm.
Who?
Exactly. What? I'm calm. I don't care about this dude.
He doesn't need my energy. Calm tells me he doesn't need my energy.
Yeah, getting good sleep, one of the most valuable things you can do for your body and mind. So go to calm.com/garden. Limited time, very limited, like maybe just the end of this week. 40% off a premium subscription. Calm.com/garden. You got to go to that specific URL to be able to unlock the 40% discount. Nature scenes, rain. Jimmy loves his Ariana Grande. Music, stories, all of that stuff.
Yeah, he would be playing
right now.
He would be playing something by now. Good thing.
Unlock content. He's like, wait a second, guys. Hey, I've got it. And he, yep, Jimmy's got it. He does.
I was like, Jimmy, this better be a cover. Like, I'm not gonna get sued.
Do you guys?
Calm.com. Anyway, go ahead, Bobby.
Do you guys want to guess where the Celtics are in offense since Brown went down? Schroeder entered the starting lineup.
I think they're like 12 or 13, 12, like
11.
Yeah, I knew they were right around that kind of 10, 11, 12 range. And their defense has been top 5, right?
Yeah. So you're looking at a more balanced team, and there's a lot going on with what was happening before. It was 104 before, and they were 20th in the league. Now it's 110, they're 11th. They played some great defense early in the year, but couldn't get anything going offensively. But, you speak about the sample size from before, John, from when Schroeder was coming off the bench and you had some guys healthy. That's true. I don't think there's enough to say Schroeder can't come off the bench and succeed, even though he's shooting 38% off the bench. But I do think you have a good enough sample size now of this starting lineup. Schroeder, Smart, all these guys to say, let's just keep rolling this. We have a good thing. This is what Brad would do, right? You find something, you roll with it. You experiment a little bit. You don't revert to what's going on before, unless it's Tice Thompson. But I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be some consequences to getting away from something that works and going back to. You never wanted double big, John. You never did.
You don't have to sell me on it. I don't love the concept of it. I mean, it's not really double big as much as like I like the positionless multi-wing sort of offense with a true. My perfect offense would be a big that can protect the rim a little bit but provide some sort of floor spacing. Problem is Rob doesn't really provide the floor spacing. A true point guard, and I love that triple wing lineup. I think that's great because it's great for versatility. Especially
you don't have the wing right now, though.
You don't have the wing right now, and so that's the point. Is are you going to shoehorn it in just because you wanted it? Of course, when you have Hayward alongside the Jays, oh my God, you're rolling that lineup out there every single day. But again, even then, you had deficiencies because you didn't have a true, big that you felt great about, and you didn't have a point guard who could defend. So it wasn't ideal. In a perfect world, you have Marcus Smart now who can defend playing the point, and you can roll a couple of those wings out there. But I just don't think you've got that third one there that works. If you had a guy like a Duncan, if Nesmith was a knockdown shooter, I would say slide him into that lineup and just let him gun. But right now, Grant is actually filling that role. That's the odd part. Is the reason I want to slide a guy like Nesmith or Romeo in there is to stick him in the corner, have the space created when everyone's giving everybody else attention, and let him knock down some open shots. Grant's actually doing that, which is so freaking bizarre, and that's why I'm like starting to rethink. I'm not there yet.
He's the guy.
I'm thinking about other options,
The problem is defensively, he's not a wing. He's really like a 4.5.
No, he's not. Defensively, he's not much of anything, really. Because he's not great at muscling the big guys, and he's certainly not quick enough.
He's stuck between. He's like that old guard that was between forward and guard.
The tweener stuff is killing him, and he gets murdered on the boards too. So right now, he's a floor spacer, which is just so bananas if you watched him in college, because that's not who he was. He was just a brutish kind of, more a traditional four, albeit undersized, but big enough to succeed at the college level. He was a legit power forward.
I feel like you knew, and the Celtics, of course, knew that if he wanted to prolong his career, that he was going to have to extend that offensive game, like the rebounding and all that. That's
no choice.
Defensively, he's going to improve, and obviously he's still young, he's still maturing, but at the same time, that's a part of your game on the offensive end that's going to change things for him, and that's exactly what's happening now. And it's ironic because what was it? It was 25 in a row. His first shot, he couldn't make a three to save his life, and then finally he makes one, and then if you cut off from when he made one to fast forward, he's not a terrible shooter, especially for a big.
Yeah, he projected as a decent shooter out of school. It was surprising that he started over 25 like he did, and the release is good. Doesn't need a ton of time to get it off. It's pretty fluid. And
no, actually, that's two things. Both Grant and Romeo, their releases this year are so much quicker than before. Yeah. So they are able to get those shots.
Remember when we were laughing at him for not going to summer league? I guess he was right.
Yeah,
that was below him. He would have been putting up 30 and 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Usually the fourth year of summer league is ball out, but I don't know. Or 30.
Yeah, it's kind of a.
We'll have to ask him what he would average.
Yeah, it's kind of a shit assignment to be the fourth year summer league guy. You really don't want to draw that. You really don't want to draw that straw. Oh my God!
I'm John's like a senior on JV.
I'm extremely worried about this.
Oh no! Wait, hold on, Jimmy. Is this a drunk dial? What are we doing here?
Was this post?
What up, boys?
Oh, this is a drunk dial.
I guess not.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yo, tell the sponsors to stop watching right now. Sponsors don't watch this.
I wanna come out and say right off the bat, I didn't see a second of this game, but I did get home soon enough to jump on the show, so I figured why not.
Damn.
And I will also add
anything to contribute.
Jimmy feeling good today.
No. I will also add that I was listening to you guys on my way home, so I do have an idea of what you guys were talking about. Al Horford, first or second team, all defense, all that stuff. Marcus Smart, all that stuff. So I'm good.
Oh, we know you're good.
John, very afraid.
We are afraid.
What's gonna happen?
No, I'm actually completely fine. I was unfortunately
stood up.
Far away. No, I was far away, so I was driving. I was driving tonight, so nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I'm coming in as a good boy. I'm leaving a bad boy. Coming in a good boy.
It is.
Leaving a
After
bad
all,
boy.
it is a homeschool night, so Jimmy's got to take it easy.
Homeschool.
Homeschool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Midterms are coming up. Christmas break.
Yeah. Mom's a tough grader.
So tell me about the game. Tell me about the game.
No, that's what you're supposed to do to our
Yeah,
viewers,
man.
Jimmy.
No. I will say this. I was kind of surprised. I checked the halftime score. They're up like 25.
People come to us for that, Jimmy. That's not.
No, they
Remember
don't.
Jimmy was-
People,
That's why we're here. That's
People-
why we're here.
people don't
No, he
come
just
for
wants to
us
react
to
to us.
tell them what happened. They already know what happened. They just want to talk about it. So you guys can talk about it.
Saturday, Jim.
I'm just here to listen. I'll hang,
Damn game to talk
is-
about it.
That is.
Dude,
what
you'll
we're
hang
here.
up and listen. Yeah.
I'll hang up and listen. Yeah, I'll hang up and listen. Yeah, I think Grant Williams is a real player.
Just so you know, we're not paying you for tonight.
You guys don't pay me for any night. I got to beg Nick.
I know. We're gonna.
We're not paying you for tonight.
It's gonna be the Ben Simmons thing. I'm holding back your pay for the fines I'm gonna
Just
levy.
in case.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
FYI, you're volunteering right now.
This one shows up that this on the schedule. This one's marked that I did make an appearance though.
That is right. Yeah. Check the box.
Games played. It's like 1 minute in the final minutes of the game. You get the last garbage time. minutes.
Jimmy's Herman.
Hernan
He's Herman
Gomez. He's
tonight.
Herman Gomez.
Yeah, I'm Herman.
Herman G.
It's like when Jimmy was introducing news stories with vague details. Just hoping everyone gets the point.
So Jimmy, the surprising thing tonight is that idiot John suggested possibly leaving Grant in the starting lineup.
I heard that. I did hear that.
No, but we're talking about.
I thought you were going to admit that maybe Grant was better than what you had thought, but you just kind of
We're well past that. He's having a much better year this year.
Yeah.
than
You know what he
last
did,
year.
Jimmy? He gave him a backhanded compliment, which is like,
Is it exciting?
someone's
That's the answer
trash,
we're still
you
looking
just put him in the starting lineup anyways, and that's what they should do with Grant.
right.
Something
No
to that
one,
effect.
So
No
what's
one's
your starting
covering
lineup,
it.
John?
Which trash player is the best in the starting lineup? My
I
vote's
heard-
for Grant. Right?
I heard somebody say Neesmith to the G League, which unfortunately, I mean, if it means playing time, then I'm fine with it. I mean, it's not like he's not allowed to come back. You just shoot him up there for a
They've
couple
done it
weeks.
with Bruno like 3 times.
Well, that's
I mean, if
brutal.
you're not gonna play him, then shit, why not put him up, bring him
I'm
up
not
there,
quite there, but I don't
There it
hate
is.
it.
get him in some kind of rhythm because
Good
that shooters need to
analysis.
get in some sort of rhythm. You know,
Yeah,
he's not gonna
Sherrod-
get better as a
Sherrod-
shooter sitting on the bench, coming in
He's
cold
got-
every couple minutes a game.
Nah.
And Jimmy, we can go up there, do a live show. We'll have.
Yo,
him
I was
on, see
just
how he's
about to
making
say that.
progress.
So, Jimmy, let's go. Let's pull up.
Dude, we'll take the train up. We'll make a weekend out of it. Portland's a great
Jimmy's
town.
like, we won't drive because,
Yeah, you know what happens when that happens. No, we'll take the train up. You can just haul all the gear onto the train.
Jimmy, get comfortable, dude.
I'm very
Please.
comfortable. I got
Yeah,
my
yeah.
lights on.
Really
He's
ease
back
into
up.
it. Yeah.
I got my lights on. I'm comfy. I'm here for the night, boys.
I want Pritchard and Neesmith to both go to the G League and light it up for 100.
I'll put the hat on and go up.
oh, yeah.
Do
I'll
round
go for
2.
that.
Yeah. So what do we got after this? We've got what's Monday's game? Houston. Another cupcake. Another cupcake,
H-Town.
and then Brooklyn. So we like this right now. Wait, what's going on? You guys okay?
I don't know, man.
So what do we think?
This place is getting
Anybody?
rowdy.
I hate doing the "Are we worried about Rob" thing. I'm just really annoyed right now, so I don't even want to talk about it.
Are we annoyed about Rob?
I'm pretty annoyed.
Okay. We
Yeah.
can start there.
I'm pretty annoyed. I'm just pretty annoyed about it being another thing that's not serious, but yet costs him multiple games. This is, again, why he said he wants to play 60 games, because every time he gets hurt, he misses 4 games.
I was just
You
going to
know?
say that. We were laughing at that, reaching for the stars. We're like, oh, yeah, my goal is to play 60 games. You're like, really, dude? That's, where you want to go? That's where you're reaching for here? And he's right on track for that. So
Yeah.
He knows his body better than anybody.
Exactly.
he knows when he's going to get hurt before he gets hurt.
He knows 25 minutes a game is it's different. It's a different kind of life, or more than that.
You want to get 30 from me? I'm going to miss 20 games this year.
Right.
That's
And
the-
sure,
that's
I'll
the
take
deal.
that bag. I'll take that bag of cash. All right.
Anything good
Thanks
out
for
of
the
the
bag. Thanks for the bag.
This is what you signed up for. You knew this going into it.
Anything good out of the post game tonight?
Not that I've seen. I've been listening in halfway.
Yeah.
I think Grant talked.
My guy Schroeder had another player of the game type performance.
Schroeder was awesome again. I mean, but he hit everything. And again, we were talking about the mid range. He's hitting those floaters. He's hitting little things in the lane. He loves that that little stop and go turnaround.
2012 Rondo.
I think they're kind of playing.
He loves that shot. Yeah.
I think they're kind of following his lead a little bit. I honestly think that he's kind of
saying that. I led with that, Jimmy. Good stuff.
Did you lead with that? I think they're just. I mean, listen. When you guys out there, he's playing 30 plus minutes a game. He's starting, and he's kind of setting the tone, like showing everybody, hey, like this works. This you can be effective this way. You don't need to just stand at the 3-point line and jack
You know what
threes.
he is? He's the momentum killer. When you have those stretches in the past where they would go 5 and 6 minutes where it just stagnant and everybody would just be shooting jumpers, he just doesn't allow that to happen. He's like, nah, give me the ball. I'm just gonna go, and then boom, and he can but he can change that tone very quickly where you'd fall into those ruts where it's just like, oh, jumper. And he's like, nope. I'm going to attack. And he does. And it completely just kind of jolts you out of it. That's why I love it. Because there's fewer of those, stretches where it looks like, oh, what kind of offense are we doing? That's what you want to see, when he's out there, and he does it all the time. It's great. He just takes over entire stretches. Stretches of games. I mean, he had another one tonight where it's just bang, 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 10, 11 quick points and just, puts the offense on his back. I'll take all of the bad stuff and all of the turnovers and all, Jimmy, we talk about it all the time. That's baked into the pie, the good far outweighs it, I think. And the Schroeder haters, and there are quite a few out there
which is strange,
who have the vibe of he is what he is. He hurts you more than he helps you. Sort of thing. I totally disagree with that. I think.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I always say you take the good with the bad. Like
2 turnovers,
it's worth it. Tonight. The good is worth it.
And one was early. One was like the second possession of the game, and then he played a clean game. Yeah,
right. Exactly. And usually he's about that turnover life. So this is a step up.
He's not about that turnover life, bro.
He kind of
is, Jimmy. He is.
He's not about it. It just happens.
It's who he is.
It's just part of
Jimmy,
it.
That's your James Harden. That's what you get with your James Harden, man.
James Harden is very, very similar game to Dennis Schroeder. Very similar. So, and you know what? The way
Jimmy?
No, I'm just saying the way Schroeder's playing, it's going to be hard to take him out of the starting lineup. Everyone keeps saying, "What are you doing?"
No, it won't.
Okay, well, we'll see. I think he's making it hard. I do.
Yes, I will agree with that. He is definitely a no-brainer, but they're not.
But so is Marcus now, though. Like that, you had a stretch where Marcus was killing you offensively because he wasn't doing enough of the good stuff, and he was taking bad shots. And just offensively, he was just brutal.
Right.
Now that's not happening. Marcus, the Schroeder stretch is coinciding with Marcus's best stretch offensively of the year.
So why mess that up? Why take one out if one's helping the other? So that's why I'm saying it's going to be hard to take him out.
That's the show, Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, you guys are so quick to say, "Oh, it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard." Well, I think it might be hard because if you take him out and Marcus Smart gets stuck doing, old Marcus Smart stuff because now he's forced to do things that he's not as comfortable doing, then you've just screwed up 2 players. And then
that's the premise of the whole conversation is, are you screwing up players by removing them from a situation in which they're thriving to put other people in there? That's where, right. If you have a stretch of games where things are working well and you're like, okay, bye everybody. Then that's potentially bad. And that's why we talked about, like, what do you do with Grant? What do you do with Schroeder? Like, of course
you'd have to be comfortable moving Tatum to the 4 in some cases. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to go Smart, Schroeder, Brown, Tatum, and either Al or Rob.
Right.
You're comfortable with that.
But we also got to leave Grant in there. Yeah. We got to leave Grant in the starting lineup too.
Right. We can't touch Grant, you're right.
No, it's like don't forget the best trash player,
Yeah, he's the best trash player.
Stop. That is so disrespectful.
John's words. John's
damn
words.
disrespectful.
He's the best kid. He's the best kid.
It's not even close to what I said, by the way. Bobby, what are you doing, buddy? You can't just leave like that.
Sorry.
Bob-
when
Bob
you get a
thinks he's
chance to
just-
ask a question, you just gotta jump.
You gotta tell us. Hey guys, gotta go.
No, like they really boom, they put me right up. I was like,
Bobby,
oh,
this is live television, Bobby. Don't you get it?
No, I know why. I know why Bobby's saying that because earlier something happened. You had back
Oh.
connection
Yeah.
or something.
another incident on the Zoom.
Oh, there
I
was
think
another
they-
incident.
I had the wind
Well, it
whipping in
wasn't-
my face walking
It
into the
wasn't
game.
too. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but the win and then
It was
the look on
pregame?
Ime's face. Ime's
Yeah,
like, dude, I don't know
pregame.
what he said. Yeah. But
Where are you
What?
coming from?
Like-
Where were you walking
look at
from?
John's
I was
face.
walking into the
But
garden.
Celtics PR threw it back to him after someone else asked a question. That was a good look.
Jeff Twist. I love Jeff
Yeah.
Twist.
Oh, twist,
Okay,
yeah.
so how did this one go?
I got the question.
They broadcast the entire show of us calling Grant trash over the Zoom.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, I was
What-
talking
so
to
disrespectful. So
I
What
was
question
talking
did
to
you get?
I was talking to Shy Gilgis about Al.
all they heard was the best trash player is
The
Grant.
best
That's all they
trash
heard.
player out there.
right in Grant's ear. It's like
Right.
Wait, this question was for a Thunder player?
It was for
yeah,
Grant.
I'm writing about Al. I want to see what those
Oh.
guys got from Al and just the
Okay.
experience of being around him and stuff like that because they loved him there. All those guys like they rave about the experience that they had playing with him there, even though it was like 30 games. So I'll do a little
Yeah.
something on that.
Even though they mutually decided that they weren't going to play.
Well, he was too good. They were winning too many games with him. Him, Shy, they had to sit him down and do their thing. They're almost doing the
Not-
same thing this year.
I had to sit him down. I was like, yo, that's not what we do here.
Where does John Wall play these days?
He's supposed to be
That is
playing
a
in Houston.
disgrace.
He's
Yeah,
chilling.
okay.
Yeah.
I was for all you could have said
Yeah.
OKC and I wouldn't have blinked. I
He's
forgot.
playing pickup games.
Well, I tried to bring this convo up last week, and you bit my head off about it.
So I hate that.
Believe it or
I-
not.
You
I
heard that,
actually-
right, John?
But Jimmy's not bitter about that at all. At all.
You guys don't remember that?
I tried to bring it up and you bit my head off about it.
It happened last week. It happened last
I'm
week.
with you.
It was like
I'm
the
with
end of
you,
our show. It's
Jimmy.
like, so how about John Wall, huh, guys? And John's like, what about it? Like, well, you can't just say that. Like, tell us more. I'm like,
What
all right, you
about
know
it?
what? Forget it. Just end the show. Just end the damn show.
That takes us back to what you said when you first jumped.
I'm not angry.
Tell me
I've
about
never,
the show.
I've never better.
Tell me about the
I've never
game.
been better.
He's not angry, but he's been holding on to this shit.
I'm not angry, but I mean,
Well, no.
I-
Now John wants to casually bring up John Wall. Well, you know what, John? Now you're gonna get a taste. Why
about
the hell?
John
Why the
Wall?
hell are you bringing up John
No.
Wall?
Hey, that is a
Jimmy
good
has
point.
been triggered. Clearly, Jimmy has been triggered
Jimmy?
by that,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You hit a
I'm
nerve.
gonna defend Jimmy. He got killed for
Uh-oh.
bringing up a story without any details. John doesn't even know where he plays. There you
John
go.
doesn't even know where he
Different
plays.
standards.
He actually doesn't play. That's the story. He won't play, and they won't play him. That's the whole
Oh,
story.
that's all we asked for the other day, Jimmy. You should have just said that.
Yeah, I should have.
I hate that.
Thought you
John
guys were in
Wall-
the know.
John Wall, Ben Simmons. I didn't like when they did it with Al last year. You've had a couple players just sent home for various reasons, and Kyrie's obviously a different case. But that's just terrible for the league. Enough guys get hurt every year and have to sit out games.
And this week only.
Hey, I got the app.
Limited
I already got it.
We know, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's
Do you want
funny.
to?
Nope.
Perfect
Yep.
time for a
Nope,
read.
We're good. We're good. We did it.
Perfect time.
Yo, don't
40% up.
put Jimmy on the read.
Com.com. I got my app ready if you guys need me.
Don't fire up that damn phone again. Don't do it.
We did it.
The Rockets
That's the
have
glass
lost.
clinks.
I won't do
Clink,
the music one. I don't want to get banned again.
The Rockets have lost 13 straight games, and they're not going to play Wall. Like, come on. I know that's
Yeah,
a goal,
it's
but
ridiculous.
so isn't growth, isn't development. I mean, that's a guy that can help them in that sense. Tanking stinks.
I thought
glad
there
we
were
looked
rules
out 1 year
against.
of that
Shouldn't there,
here.
aren't there some kind of rule against that shit? Like you're not supposed to give healthy guys days
Stern
off.
wouldn't let it happen.
But the whole thing was, I thought you can't just give healthy players nights off for the hell of it. Wasn't there
I
a
think
thing?
if you have a mutual agreement, it's probably fine. It's not resting. They just sent them
It was
home.
an NBA thing. I thought it was an NBA like Silver like put it in place so like nationally televised games wouldn't get screwed because if guys are just resting for the
Yeah,
hell
but
of it.
this-
No, they would
This
come up
isn't
with
rest.
like
This is
They would come up
what's the
with-
right word?
diagnosis.
I don't even have a word for it. It's so ridiculous. This is
Well,
the rest. This is
when
just,
we're the
Bobby's
when,
speechless.
when we've reached the John Wall portion of the post-game show, we know it's time to wrap it up. So we are going to wrap it up. I'll give everybody final thoughts. I'll give Jimmy an original thought. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Oh man,
I'm good.
Jimmy original.
Jimmy's first thought, because he hasn't really gotten to declare. You know what you know.
Are they back, Jimmy?
Jimmy, are they back?
No, not quite. I mean,
How about this? Is Tatum back?
Yeah, I think Tatum's back.
Are we not worried about anything? That was what I wanted to talk about.
I can't even get a thought.
Is he back, Jimmy?
I'm scared to start talking. I don't know if you're going to say something again. Yes, I think Tatum is back. I said this yesterday. I said
Josue.
Tatum's back. Yeah. Tatum's back for sure.
He's back. 2 words. That's it for me.
No, come on. What do you think, Jimmy?
No, I really do think yesterday and tonight, although I did watch a lot of the highlights after the fact. These are the types of performances that, as I said yesterday, is in Tatum. So I was never really concerned that, and I said this yesterday, he put on too much muscle. Like he's injured or he's thinking too much or whatever. It was a shooting slump, and the players go through it, and I think he's on the other side of it now. I don't know if that has to do with the fact that he's getting different looks with Jaylen Brown out, or is Schroeder done something to open up the court for him, or is Marcus Smart playing, more conducive to his role? I don't know what the reason is, but the shots are falling that previously weren't. So I think he's back.
He's back.
Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to have a shitty game here and there. I mean, everybody does, and that's the maddening thing with Tatum. When he does disappear, he really disappears. So those are still going to happen, but hopefully they're few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be the type of stretch that we're going to say, wow, this is when Tatum started to really, turn things up a bit. I don't know if we can compare it to what happened in 2020, which feels like it was like 3 years ago, but that like stretch of games leading into the All-Star break, I thought was really special for Tatum, and especially because now you look back on that and you're like, well, yeah, that was a different player though. That was just Tatum doing, taking a lot of threes and just being comfortable with who he was and trying to figure things out. But now I feel like he's really making a point to do what's best for the team, and at the same time getting his. And I think that the balance of that has progressed in the last week, especially throughout this homestand. So I think he's back. I really do think he's back, and I like how the way Jimmy said that. Like, this doesn't mean he's not going to have a bad game, but just his approach, I think, is going to be what we're going to get used to seeing, which is what we saw the last couple of games right now.
Yeah, he's back. I think the tricky thing is going to be integrating Brown, because I'm still in a place where I think Brown should be emphasized higher in the game plan, more central to what they're doing than Tatum is, just because of the pace. I mean, they have fallen off the map pace-wise since Tatum took over and Brown left. They got to get back to running and gunning a little bit here. Tatum doesn't necessarily want to do that, so I do think that's the kind of division you see between those two. I don't think there's a huge conflict between their styles and an inability to play together, but it is going to be kind of awkward because of Schroeder, Smart's doing. You're forcing someone out of the lineup there.
It's just a matter of being decisive.
Yeah.
And again, the only thing you can't have when you've got guys like Smart, Tatum and Brown Schroeder, Tatum and Brown on the floor at the same time is guys dribbling the ball for 8-10 seconds, at a time. As long as you don't have that, it doesn't matter if you kind of take the your turn, my turn, and if you hunt a matchup. As long as you attack it aggressively or move the ball, that's what it's so simple. Yet it's just, you see it, and like Jalen's like, I can beat this guy, but it's going to take me a little bit of time. So everyone get out of my way and let me set it up. And you want to try to avoid that as much as you can. You just get it and go. When you have your opportunities, attack quick. So I'm excited to see Jaylen get in there and it's especially the way Schroeder's playing now, and coming off the Lakers game with the 56 points in the paint. Jaylen's just another guy who attacks, and you just want to see him come back in attack mode. So obviously it's a good thing when arguably your best player returns to the lineup. So, It
can be awkward too, though. You find something good, you've been rolling with it, now all of a sudden you got to mix things up to get them back in there. I'm not going to say they're better without Brown, but it's going to be different for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be different, but I think ultimately you're going to, start seeing more of the combinations that we've seen of late that don't include Jaylen. Like when Jaylen is off the floor, you're going to see a lot of what we're seeing now. And to me, the challenge then becomes, well, what happens when Jalen is on the floor? How are you going to integrate him offensively? And I think you're going to see a lot of ISO. I think he's going to be that guy. I think he's going to be the offensive, go get buckets, get out my way. You got this. Whereas when he's off the floor, I think you'll see a lot of the ball moving, a lot of the, the stuff that we've seen the last couple of games. And if you're playing a team that has that capability, a guy that can go out and get 30 like Jalen can, and another 7-8 guys who are swinging the ball around and doing all that shit, you become a much tougher team to prepare for.
Yeah, and it's look, and you need that guy too when whichever Jay you're leaving in there playing with that second unit there for stretches of time. You've seen Brown go off in those scenarios too, where he's like, "Everyone get out of here and let me just go," and like we joke about it, like I don't think he could pick Aaron Nesmith out of a lineup because he never looks at him when he's at the court. He just doesn't pass the ball to anybody. But you need that tunnel vision sometimes, which is kind of like, I'm the guy here. Let's go.
As long as he's getting them out in the break, that's so important because it seems like he's the only guy that can overrule Tatum in that regard.
Yeah. All right. So as we said, we're going to wrap it up on Saturday night show. We're thrilled to get Saturday night Jimmy appearance here. We got the whole band.
That was a surprise. That was a treat, huh?
It's good. We would have wrapped already if not for Saturday night Jimmy.
So
hey, that's right.
He kept us going.
You prolonged the show.
Sorry for Bobby and Sherrod. Josue, are you at the game too?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Sorry for the guys who are. If I kept you a little bit.
Yeah, they're probably trying to go home. They're probably mad at you.
Yeah.
Once again, calm.com, #1 sleep meditation app. Calm.com/garden, 40% off premium subscription. Yes. Once around the horn, Sherrod, you got anything you're working on right now you want to tell the people about?
No, I just wrote a little bit about Dennis Schroeder for a bulletin about just how, he's the happiest guy who basically pissed away $84 million that you'll ever find.
Yeah.
But to his credit, he's playing his way back into maybe getting that money back this summer. So
you got to treat it like a parking ticket. Nothing you can do.
So
it's over.
That's an expensive ass parking ticket.
I'm very
damn.
Once again, Sherrod, tell people where to find this.
Charge to the game.
Yeah, just fullcourtpress.bulletin.com. Most of my content is there. And obviously, ebony.com is where a lot of my stuff is as well. I know Josue, you've got a couple of different entities that you
yes, sir.
You work with.
Yeah, josueheavy.com. What do you got cooking?
So we got obviously we're talking about the Cedric Maxwell book. I'm having a one-on-one with him, and listen, I just finished up this book, and there's a lot of fascinating stuff in this, whether it's the relationship he had with Larry Bird, how these guys didn't talk for decades. Like, it's really, really good stuff. So I'm going to do a feature on Max coming up this week. I'm really excited about it. So you can check out that. And of course, a brand new episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast, which I'm sure we'll get into the book a little bit, but Max wants to tease it. He wants guys to go out there and get the book. And
I'm not giving you the whole thing.
As he should.
Yeah,
as he
should, right? Yeah, as he should. Like, this is decades worth of memories that he's given, it took him a while putting this thing together because he wanted to put it together the way he wanted, tell the story exactly the way it's supposed to be told. So
get down to the bookstore and buy that thing.
Is there?
I almost Bobby's copy because I saw it and I thought it was mine because I'm so used to. As soon as I see it, I'm like, oh wait, that's my book. Oh wait, no, that's yours.
Read a book.
Is there like an audio version that we can buy, or do we have to read it?
Oh man, it is 2021.
Jimmy doesn't read.
Yeah, it's not that
homeschool does not.
It's not that I
the same
can't
effect.
read. It's just that I don't read. No, like Cedric Maxwell should consider reading his book and then selling the audio version because people would probably
buy
that.
That would be funny actually because he would tell it really animated.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're putting Max through the car wash this week too, so you're gonna see him on a lot of shows. By the way, Sherrod, I was gonna ask if he can come on yours.
Promote.
Can he come on ours?
He's coming on the Garden Report.
Oh hell
yes.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
cool.
Cool.
His birthday's come. They put him on the Jumbotron. I guess his birthday's in a couple days.
Couple days, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's he going on?
All of them. He's going to be everywhere. You'll see him a bunch. Bobby, of
All of
course,
our
writing
garden
for CLNS Media, and he's got a column
Yes,
going
sir.
up tomorrow. Basketball Notebook of Boston Sports Journal as well.
Yes, Schroeder, smart, selling the combo, making the case. I got all the stats, all the quotes, and I'm always fascinated too by just how much reverence there is for Smart around the league. Like, everybody's got that line about all defense, heart and soul, blah blah. Richardson and Schroeder were really excited to come and play with this guy, and they're like, Schroeder's like, I played against this guy all these years, and now I get the chance to actually be alongside him. He was stopping me all those years. Now we're doing it together. So I do like how excited people get about Smart, the persona and the figure in Boston.
Yep. Yeah, so Bobby's got that. Bobby's got so many places where he can spew his agenda now. You got Grant pieces, you got Grant pieces, you got Smart pieces.
This has been coming up in the comment section. Speaking of what else Bobby has, you know what else got going on? You got another damn growth spurt, all right? Let me just say this right now, all right? Bobby is still growing.
I'm killing Josue.
Right? Bobby's 6'10" now. He's like Tatum.
Bobby, where are the stools at,
right.
dude?
Bobby,
we used to have stools.
Bobby is ruining everything, John. Okay?
Now I know why you want the stool, Josue.
I used to be the tall guy back in the day. Jeez.
Back in what day?
On my day.
2009?
When it was Jimmy and I.
We used to all sit on stools. That's the way to do it.
Jimmy, Nick, and Josue is just the perfect,
who's
three.
Who's the tallest one in that trio?
I wouldn't even say that. I don't know about that, but
the good old days.
I don't know about that either.
But I will say it looks better when we had the stools. We'll look more comfortable conversation.
Jimmy, you know damn well I was looking all over the place.
Josue, that's like priority number one.
You
get to the garden, dude. You got to look for those. You got to look under the seats, man. That's where they hide them.
Go find your shit. Yeah,
it's different now, but no.
Or go get a box, dude.
That was funny. But it was funny, but at the same time, the first time doing a report on the parquet since March 2020, so it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that looked good. I was glad to have you guys out there. So,
it's just too bad Bobby's now 6'6", so it's crazy.
Couple more home games this week, obviously. So we'll be bringing you coverage throughout, the week. And
we got Nets on Wednesday.
Nets, a whole slew of podcasts releasing next week before the Thanksgiving holiday as well. So CLNS Media is where it's at. Subscribe to all the pods individually. Subscribe to our YouTube channels. We put them out live. They'll be on the channel there as well. CLNSmedia.com, new website. Go check it out.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for hanging out on a Saturday night. We had fun. Sherrod, Josue, Saturday Jimmy, and Bobby Manning.
Saturday Jimmy.
Yeah. I'd still post up Bobby regardless.
Hashtag Saturday Jimmy.
Saturday Jimmy.